Hi, I'm Gordon, and today I'm in London, getting a coffee at Flat White in Soho. Today, a flat white has become a standard option in most coffee shops, but it wasn't always this way. This lighter alternative to a traditional European cappuccino originally hailed from Australia and New Zealand, and arguably made its London debut in 2005 when Flat White opened its doors on Berwick Street in the heart of Soho. Back then, I often worked in nearby Broadwick Street and remembered the sensation it caused in the coffee scene, before I then headed off to New Zealand for a few years where it had long been standard fare. 2 decades after kicking off the third wave scene in the UK, Soho's Flat White continues to do what it's always done best, delivering an authentic Aussie or Kiwi coffee experience with expertly produced drinks and great service. It's open 7 days between 8:30 and 5 on weekdays, 9 to 6 on Saturdays, and 9:30 to 5:30 on Sundays. The menu's nice and simple, starting of course with a flat white for £4, or perhaps that other Antipodean favourite, a long black for £3.50. Now you could order a cappuccino or a latte, but there's a 10p tax for non-believers, for the extra milk. All espresso-based drinks are made with single origin beans, roasted by Dark Arts in Hackney. There's no multiple choices here, just standard or decaf, and when I visited in March 2025, both hailed from Brazil with a natural process, and they work great with or without milk. These change every few months. There's no pour-overs, but if you do fancy something different to an espresso-based coffee, a batch brew filter is also available for £3.70. This used Guatemalan beans on my visit, again roasted by Dark Arts, and they also have bags of beans for sale. In the past, Flat White offered various brunch-style meals, but today is simplified to a handful of sweet treats with homemade banana bread for £4.50, Anzac biscuits for £3, and vegan breakfast cookies for £3.80. I decided to embrace my time in New Zealand with a Flat White and an Anzac biscuit on the side, and both were delicious. That latte art is pretty expert too. Meanwhile, the interior is quite long, with uninterrupted seating running down one side, and small tables with stools opposite. I'd say they could comfortably seat around 20 people in total without it becoming too much of a squeeze. And I'm glad to report that unlike a lot of London cafes, there's a toilet at the back too. Many reviews of Flat White mention loud music, and it's certainly more of a bar volume than a typical coffee shop. But this is Soho, and it gives the place a lively vibe that you rarely find accompanying this kind of drink. Plenty of customers were managing to chat without shouting when I visited, and I enjoy Flat White's approach. But if you're after a more peaceful setting in Soho for specialty coffee, I'd suggest heading over to the Columbia Coffee Company on Greek Street. Ultimately, Flat White expertly balances the reliable reassurance of an old friend with a vibe, service and product that still feels fresh 20 years after opening. I always enjoy visiting and recommend you give it a try too. Please let me know in the comments which are your favourite cafes and which ones you'd like me to review next. And as always, I'd love it if you get a chance to check out some of my other videos here and maybe even consider subscribing to this channel, with notifications mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.